Jonathan Turley joins us from our Washington bureau. He's a CBS News legal analyst and a law professor at George Washington University. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning.
You wrote in a piece for The Hill that the Attorney General's letter is about as informative as a haiku highway sign. So what actually can we take from it?
Actually, I think the most important takeaway is what is not accompanying that letter, which would be indictments. You know, you cannot collude alone. And so if there is collusion here, one would expect that other people would be charged. The policy is you can't charge a sitting president, but that doesn't apply to other people. So the absence of indictments would seem to me to indicate that they did not find a conspiracy of collusion because they didn't indict anyone for that.
But so much of this report has left collateral damage out there. I mean, you have 5 indictments, 4 plea deals, and the president now and his team are essentially declaring victory. Can they, with all that out there?
Well, they have really taken some hits below the waterline. There's no question about it. You know, you've got dozens of people who've been charged, 5 people close to the president. All of that leaves a mark, and it's going to be hard to shake it. But let's not, let's give the administration its due. If the special counsel found there was no collusion, that is a vindication for the president. It doesn't mean that he acted appropriately. It doesn't even mean that the special counsel didn't find evidence that could be criminal. But it clearly indicated that he doesn't believe that there's a criminal case to be made.
So, Jonathan, based on what he has filed in the past indictments that there have been, what is the sense of Washington in terms of the direction that this investigation went toward?
Well, Adrian, I think that the key to remember here is that the Mueller investigation is narrower than the congressional investigation. Many of the things that Congress is investigating are things that were given to the Southern District of New York. So Mueller was much more focused because of his mandate. Those congressional investigations will continue. But if Mueller comes out and says, look, I didn't find any evidence of collusion between Donald Trump or the campaign of the Russians, that removes the original purpose of the mandate for appointing a special counsel.
Jonathan, so what happens to this report? If you're in the Justice Department right now, what's the conversation?
It'll be an interesting conversation because Rod Rosenstein, the Deputy Attorney General, wrote a blistering memo against former FBI Director James Comey. And like many justice officials, he objected to Comey holding the press conference involving Hillary Clinton, where he said, we're not going to indict her, but here's all the horrible things she did type of press conference. He was really excoriated for that. And Rosenstein has really maintained that that's not the role of the Department of Justice. If you don't indict someone, you don't then trash talk them or give the evidence that might have been used. Now, there is one difference here. The Department of Justice has this policy that it won't indict a sitting president. So this creates a sort of artificiality. They're saying, well, he's not indicted, but that's only because you won't indict him. Many people, including myself, believe a sitting president can be indicted, but that's not the policy of the Department of Justice. So that really argues more heavily in favor of the disclosure of the report.
If this report is not released, Jonathan, who actually gets to read it in full?
Well, it is an executive branch document, and so presumably the White House will eventually be able to see this document. Obviously, people at Justice are reviewing it. I would expect that Congress would get some form of the document. But there is a lot of pressure to release it in redacted form. He cannot legally release this unredacted, as some of the Democrats have suggested. There are federal laws that prevent that. There could be grand jury material in this report that cannot be released publicly. So he has to scrub it. But I think that all of the statutes support, in my view, the release of this report. There is an exception under Department of Justice regulations for the release of this type of material when there's a great public interest. And I don't think you could possibly describe this as anything other than great public interest.
All right, Jonathan Turley, thanks very much for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.